Hey everyone, it's Saturday morning, January 17th, and welcome back to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Sella, here to break down yesterday's market action in just 2 minutes. Quick note before we dive in. Today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital Asset Management Frankfurt. Learn more about our funds and strategies at amf-capital.de. Alright, let's get started. So, US stocks wrapped up a pretty choppy week with very little movement overall. Investors were juggling solid bank earnings on the one hand and rising political and geopolitical uncertainty on the other. The Nasdaq Composite slipped slightly below the flat line, while the Standard & Poor's 500 finished basically unchanged. The Dow Jones Industrial Average also edged lower, but here's the key takeaway. All three major indexes ended the week down less than 1%. Now, small caps were the real standout. The Russell 2000 closed at a fresh record high, extending its year-to-date gains to 8%. That's a pretty strong signal that investors are still willing to take on risk, at least in parts of the market. Stocks actually gave up earlier gains yesterday after President Trump signaled hesitation about naming Kevin Hassett as the next Federal Reserve Chair. That sparked fresh speculation that the Fed may not be as dovish as markets had hoped once Jerome Powell steps down in May. Experts say that uncertainty alone was enough to cool some of the optimism. Zooming out, Wall Street is still digesting a wild week. Rising tensions with Iran, a dispute involving Greenland, and a criminal probe that could challenge the Federal Reserve's independence. Investors now have a long weekend to reflect on all of that, with stock and bond markets closed on Monday for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. In tech, Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing and Nvidia moved higher, helped by a new US-Taiwan trade deal that could add $250 billion to American chip and tech manufacturing. Strong earnings from Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing earlier in the week also reignited enthusiasm around artificial intelligence. Financials were another bright spot. Regional banks like PNC and Regions Financial climbed after posting quarterly results, following strong performances from major Wall Street firms. Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley also rose after reporting profit growth, giving the broader financial sector a boost. And finally, a quick look at commodities. Silver pulled back as fears around US tariffs eased. Still, prices were up more than 15% for the week after a powerful rally in precious metals. Alright, that wraps up today's Capital Markets Quickie. Join me again Monday morning for more market updates. See you then.